Let me ask you this, because a few years ago, they had this really good idea that we're not going to decide, we'll flex them a game or two or whatever, and we're not going to have starting times because we want these games that have playoff ramifications to all go at the same time. So no team knows going in whether they're eliminated or not. Now, granted, it's all about entertainment. It's all about ratings and Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau. It has all that. So this is not about the Lions. But, and John disagrees with me, if you're the Seattle Seahawks, aren't you a little bit pissed off? Because, yes, the Lions are still going to play hard. Dan Campbell's going to, they want to be a spoiler. They can't stand Aaron Rodgers. I get all that. But isn't there a little something when you don't have that nugget there that you probably won't? I don't know.
For the Seahawks, I don't know because they can't.
Well, the Seahawks.
Well, because Green Bay still controls everything.
No, the Seahawks are still going to play to win. My point.
Right.
My point is that once the Seattle Seahawks win, the Lions are irrelevant as far as playoffs. So I'm saying that the Lions, whether it's subconscious, whatever, they're not going to have as much to play with. Even you can argue about how much that matters. Don't you think it matters just at least a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. I think a little bit it does. Yeah, I think, it definitely goes against what the NFL implemented this whole procedure for.
Right.
Now, it doesn't surprise me, not one bit.
No,
I think it is arguably probably the most fascinating game of the weekend. And look, the Titans-Jags was probably considered, but you talk about.
Yeah, but they put that one on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's Saturday night, and that's for the division. Those are usually the type of games that get, that last primetime slot. I wasn't surprised. I mean, I thought that there was – I really thought that though there was going to be a good chance it was going to be a 4 o'clock game just because of what you said.
Right.
Seattle plays at the same time. You play at the same time. You're looking up at the scoreboard. You don't give – now, I don't really see how – maybe the Packers have an advantage because if Seattle wins, then they know Detroit's obviously knocked out. And could that change? I'm sure as players, it's going to affect you.
Right.
So there's probably a small, detail there where one team probably gets a slight advantage, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, just take care of your own business. Not much you can't control that. You can't control the schedule. You can't control when the other teams are playing. You got to go out there and take care of your own business.
No, and when you look at the divisions. All right, so when this came out with this, they thought that Cincinnati-Buffalo game would have been played. That there might be something for Cincinnati in terms of a division. If they had won last night, then they would have locked up their division. Kansas City's locked up. The only other one that is still up for debate is Philly and Dallas, and that one you could see maybe them putting something like that on a Sunday night, but you've got the two-time defending NFL MVP. Now he's obviously not going to win it this year, but I mean, they're not playing this game on Sunday night because of the Detroit Lions.
No, exactly.
It is simply because of Aaron Rodgers, and either it's they want to see this story of Aaron Rodgers making this great comeback, or they want to watch a train wreck.
Yeah. I think
either way, that's what it is.
Maybe for the Lions, it's better to play late. You know exactly what's going on. I can imagine, if it was the 4 o'clock time and Seattle's playing the same time. I mean, Lambo might just have the Seattle game up on the big screen the whole time. Seattle's up 14-0. Hey, Lions, what are you trying so hard for? So I look, in a sense, for the Lions, I mean, I don't mind it because you know exactly what you're going to have to do. Right. And look, if Seattle wins, then, I'm sure you're going to be bummed and you're going to be, obviously a little bit disappointed, but you still have a chance to go out on Sunday Night Football and cap the season off with the bang and try to go not only keep, a division rival out of the playoffs, but also go 5-1 in the division on the season.
That's what I was
there's still, even if Seattle wins, I'm telling you, with Dan Campbell, I know he's going to have those guys ready to go. And I like the fact that, hey, if Seattle loses, you know exactly what's on the table now. If you're playing at the same time, probably half of you is into your game and the other half's looking up at the scoreboard. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like that's just an extra distraction you have to worry about during the game. So playing later, playing that, that night game, I think it gives you more of an advantage that by the time that game kicks off, you're going to know exactly what you have to do. And whether that's win and go to the playoffs or win and go 5-1 in the division and cap off an incredible, 7-2 run to end the season. Like I think that they're still going to be in a good spot.
Why are the Packers better now than they were when they were 4-8? What are they doing better besides running the football?
Yeah, I mean, that's offensively, that's it. They're running the football. They're giving these guys touches. Aaron Jones 14 carries last week, A.J. Dillon 12. I think, for so many games there during the middle end part, last 5 weeks, 6 weeks ago, you're looking at, Aaron Jones, 7 touches. A.J. Dillon, 5 touches. And it's like, I think they're realizing what type of team they are. They're no longer, Aaron Rodgers sit back 40 times and throw the ball. They've got the young receivers. They've got some talent for sure, but, they don't have Devontae where you can just target 20 times. They don't have those type of guys. They need to run the ball. They need to get the play action going off of it, and that's something that they've taken a huge step forward. And, they're getting a little bit healthier. I think having Bakhtiari back last week was big for them, kind of shoring up the offensive line. They had a lot of issues on the offensive line there throughout the month of November. Defensively, I think they've always been a talented group. I think that they're obviously taking the ball away a lot more. I think it's, 10 takeaways the last 3 or 4 games. I mean, that's really impressive. I know last week against Minnesota, now a couple of those were, tipped passes that ended up going, the other way, but they're putting themselves in good position. I look at their defense now, and it's like, man, there's not a lot of room that guys are just getting wide open on them like we saw earlier in the season.
Right.
They're playing better coverage. They've got some good players. I think Jair Alexander's a top corner in the league. I think that their young players are starting to step up. Quay Walker's playing really good at linebacker for them right now. Their defensive line's playing really good. I don't know if I'm going to say they're a completely different team, but it seems like they didn't have an identity for much of the season. It seems like the last 3 or 4 weeks they found what their identity is, and those guys obviously got a lot of confidence right now too. I mean, a couple weeks ago you're looking there and you're like, why are they so? Why is Aaron so cocky and arrogant? They're 6-8, whatever it was at the time, and it's like, well, everything that they've needed to happen has happened.
Yes.
Not only have they taken care of their own business, but they've gotten help from everybody. So yes, of course they're going to have confidence that it's going to set up and go their way. Now, hopefully the Lions can go in there and show them they're a different team and hit them in the mouth a little bit.
Jared Goff's a different quarterback at home than he is on the road, so hopefully he can somehow get some of that home juju on the road, because it doesn't happen much.
Yeah. Well, maybe he can take his own bed with him.
Well, and sometimes it's the field. Like that, weather conditions, I don't think weather's going to be a huge factor. It looks like it's going to be, 30, 35 degrees. Now it might be a little bit cooler because now it's going to be at night.
22.
But I don't think it's going to be 22. Is it going to be 22?
Yeah.
Again, that's not that cold.
By kickoff?
See, I'm like, yeah.
But the question, we're just talking about James Houston. Like, when you're a player that gets low and is pressing to come off the edge, natural grass is different than it is on artificial surface, whether it's inside or outside. That's a big difference. So, how much will it affect the playmakers for the Lions remains to be seen. Obviously, I know it. Green Bay's playing on the same surface, so it does all equal itself out. But there are some things that other teams do better than others, and James Houston coming around the edge is one of those things that has been very beneficial to the Lions over the last 6 weeks.